This is the shocking story of President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. He did something no one thought he would do. He became a bus driver for one day. What happened next will surprise you and maybe change how you think about leaders forever. President Traoré woke up very early, before the sun came up. He did not call his guards. He did not wear his nice suit. He put on old jeans, a simple shirt, and a cap. He looked in the mirror and smiled. No one would know him now. He called his friend Amadou. "Let's go," he said quietly. They left the palace and walked quickly through the empty streets. At the bus station, Amadou gave him the keys. The bus was old. The paint was coming off. The engine made a loud noise. Traoré got in, started the bus, and felt his heart beat fast. Today, he was not the president. He was just Ibrahim, the bus driver. The city was waking up. People hurried to the bus stop. The first person to get on was Mama Fatou. She was a strong woman with a big basket of mangoes. She sat down and said, "Driver, these roads are so bad. Every day my mangoes get hurt. The president says he will fix the roads, but nothing changes. Does he care about us market women?" Traoré listened and nodded. He felt sad for her. Next, Moussa got on. He was a young boy with a torn backpack. He sat near the front and looked at the driver. "Driver, do you think the president cares about kids like me? My school has no books. Sometimes we sit on the floor. My mother says the president only visits rich schools. I wish he could see my school just once." Traoré smiled and told Moussa to keep studying. Old Papa Cone got on slowly, holding his cane. He paid his fare with shaking hands and said, "I fought for this country, but now my money is so little. The president gives speeches, but old men like me are forgotten. I wish he would ride this bus and hear our stories." Traoré helped him to a seat and thanked him for his service. At the next stop, a young woman named Awa got on. Her eyes were red from crying. She said, "Driver, my mother is sick. The hospital is too expensive. The president promised free health care, but we still pay for everything. I don't know what to do." Traoré told her to sit and rest, and he let her ride for free. A group of young men got on, led by Idrissa. They were loud and angry. Idrissa said, "Driver, why does the president only help his friends? We have no jobs. We try every day, but there is nothing for us. The president talks about young people, but he never comes to our area." Traoré looked at him and said, "On this bus, everyone is equal. Respect each other." Idrissa was quiet and sat down. A tired nurse got on next. Her clothes were messy. She said, "I worked all night at the hospital. We have no medicine, no gloves, nothing. The president says he helps health workers, but we are alone. Sometimes I want to stop, but who will help the sick?" Traoré thanked her for her hard work and promised her a smooth ride. A man in a suit got on. He looked worried. He said, "Driver, my business is dying. Taxes are too high. The president says he helps small businesses, but every month it gets harder. I have workers to pay. I wish the president would listen to us." Traoré nodded and told him not to give up. A mother with 3 children got on. Her youngest was crying. She said, "Driver, food is so expensive now. The president says the economy is good, but my children are always hungry. I work 2 jobs, but it's never enough. Does the president know how we live?" Traoré smiled and helped her find seats for her children. A blind man waited at the next stop. Traoré helped him onto the bus. The man said, "Driver, the city is not good for people like me. The president talks about helping the disabled, but the streets are full of holes. I wish you would walk in my shoes for one day." Traoré listened and felt sad. A group of students got on, laughing. One of them, Mariam, said, "Driver, we want to go to university, but it's too expensive. The president says school is for everyone, but only the rich can go. We want a future too." Traoré told them to keep dreaming and never give up. An old woman with a basket of bread got on. She said, "Driver, I bake bread every morning, but now flour is too costly. The president says he will help farmers, but prices keep rising. I can barely feed my family." Traoré bought a loaf from her and shared it with the children on the bus. A man with a heavy bag got on. He said, "Driver, I lost my job at the factory. The president promised new jobs, but the factory closed last month. Now I carry goods at the market. I just want to work and feed my family." Traoré helped him with his bag and wished him luck. A young couple got on, arguing quietly. The woman said, "Driver, we want to get married, but we can't afford a home. The president says he will help young families, but we see nothing. We just want a small place to start our life." Traoré played a love song on the radio, and they smiled for the first time that morning. A man in a wheelchair waited at the next stop. Traoré stopped the bus, got out, and helped him up the steps. The man said, "Driver, every day is hard. The president says the city is for everyone, but I can't even get on most buses. Thank you for helping me." Traoré nodded, feeling the man's pain. A street vendor got on, selling peanuts. He said, "Driver, I walk all day, but people have no money to buy. The president says the country is rich, but I see only struggle. I wish you would buy from me just once." Traoré bought a bag and shared it with the passengers. A teacher got on, carrying a stack of papers. She said, "Driver, my school has no chalk, no books. The president says teachers are important, but we are paid so little. I love my students, but it's hard to keep going." Traoré thanked her for teaching the next generation. A young boy with no shoes got on quietly. He said, "Driver, my father left. My mother works all day. I want to go to school, but sometimes I have to beg for food. The president says no child should suffer, but I am always hungry." Traoré let him ride for free and gave him some bread. A woman with a broken sandal limped on. She said, "Driver, I walk to work every day because I can't afford the bus. The president says he will help workers, but my pay is too small. I just want to rest my feet." Traoré fixed her sandal with some tape and told her to sit and relax. A man with a guitar got on, playing music for everyone. He said, "Driver, I sing in the streets, but people are too sad to listen. The president says we should be happy, but life is hard. I sing to forget my troubles." Traoré asked him to play a song, and the whole bus joined in, clapping and singing. A pregnant woman got on, looking tired. She said, "Driver, I wait hours at the clinic. The president says mothers are important, but the nurses are too few. I am scared for my baby." Traoré gave her his seat and wished her a safe delivery. A man with a newspaper sat near the front. He said, "Driver, every day I read about promises. The president says he will change everything, but nothing changes. I am tired of words. I want to see action." Traoré listened, knowing he had heard this complaint many times. A group of farmers got on, their clothes dusty. One said, "Driver, the rains are late. The president says he will help farmers, but we wait and wait. Our crops are dying. We need real help, not just talk." Traoré thanked him for feeding the country. A young girl with a drawing book sat quietly. She showed the driver her picture. "Driver, I want to be an artist, but my mother says we can't afford paint. The president says to follow our dreams, but dreams cost money." Traoré told her to keep drawing and never stop dreaming. A man with a sad face got on. He said, "Driver, my brother is in jail. The president says justice is fair, but poor people have no voice. I just want my brother to come home." Traoré listened, feeling the man's pain. A woman with a baby on her back said, "Driver, I sell fruit in the sun all day. The president says women are strong, but we are tired. I wish you would spend one day in my shoes." Traoré nodded, understanding her struggle. A group of old men played cards in the back. One said, "Driver, we remember when things were better. The president is young, but he must listen to the old. We have wisdom to share." Traoré thanked them for their advice. A taxi driver got on, saying, "Driver, fuel is too expensive. The president says he will lower prices, but every day it goes up. I drive all night just to feed my family." Traoré told him to keep working hard. A woman with a suitcase said, "Driver, I am leaving the city. The president says there is hope, but I cannot find work here. Maybe I will find a better life somewhere else." Traoré wished her good luck. A group of children with no shoes ran to catch the bus. Traoré stopped and let them on. They laughed and played, bringing joy to everyone. One said, "Driver, we just want to play and go to school. The president should help us." Traoré smiled, feeling hope for the future. As the day went on, every passenger brought a new story, a new problem, a new hope. Some were angry, some were sad, some were just tired, but all of them wanted the same thing: a better life, a leader who listened, a country that cared. As the sun set, the bus reached its last stop. People started to leave, thanking the driver. Suddenly, police cars blocked the road. Officers jumped out. "Stay calm. The president is missing," they shouted. The passengers froze. "The president? Missing?" Traoré stood up, took off his cap, and smiled. "I am not missing. I have been with you all day." Silence. Then shock. Mama Fatou dropped her basket. Mouse's mouth fell open. Idrissa stared. You are the president?" Mama Fatou gasped. "Yes, Mama. I wanted to see your lives. I wanted to hear your stories." Traoré said. The bus exploded with cheers. People hugged him, shook his hand, and thanked him. That night, Traoré went back to the palace, but he was not the same. He had seen the real Burkina Faso. He called his ministers. We must do better. We must listen. We must help. New rules came fast. Bus fares dropped. Roads were fixed. Jobs were created. The people felt hope. The story of President Traoré, the bus driver, spread everywhere. Children told it at school. Elders shared it at night. It became a legend, a story of a leader who listened, who cared, who became one of the people. So next time you ride a bus, look at the driver. You never know who he might be. If you like this story, please click the subscribe button. When you subscribe, you will hear more amazing stories like this. Share this video with your friends and family. Leave a comment and tell us what you think. Thank you for watching. And remember, every person has a story, and every story can change the world. See you in the next video.